Hi Brian, I'm James Madelin, inventor of the Orbis Ring Flash, the Frio Cold Shoe, and now IOShutter, the shutter release cable for your iPhone, iPod Touch and iPad, so that you get camera control from your iOS device.
Okay, so can you tell us what's special about IOShutter?
There are tons of things that make IOShutter amazing, not least of which it enables you, as I mentioned, to control your SLR, your advanced compact, even your medium format, your Hasselblad camera, using your iPhone, your iPod Touch or your iPad. Above the straightforward control that you've got with the sort of the button so that you can take nice long exposures and those kinds of things, there are a ton of extra features like timers, time-lapse bulb, and even we've got some very cool extra functions. Clap to snap sound trigger and shake to take movement triggers.
So how much camera control do you get through the IOShutter?
So you get an awful lot in answer to that. So it's great for example, if you want to do a time-lapse of dawn, of the sun coming up, you can set a time-lapse program and then you can dive into the timer, and unlike traditional shutter release cables where you need to work out how many hours away you want it to start running your time-lapse, you can schedule your time-lapse to start, say, at 4 AM the next morning, leaving you can relax, you can go to sleep, have a nice line, and when you wake up, all of the photos are in the camera. Or, for example, if you're in a studio, you could set your camera on motor drive. You could set up a bulb program so that you're going to get maybe a bulb for a second, you're going to get nice 5 or 8 frames. Dive into the sound trigger function, set it so that your portrait subjects can actually shout and laugh and throw things and you know, make a noise at the camera and be able to control the camera to shoot themselves.
So how much is it going to cost and when's it available?
So the IOShutter cable is coming out for Canon, Samsung, Pentax and Hasselblad at the end of March in a couple of weeks' time. And that's going to be, as I mentioned, compatible with the Canon, Samsung, Pentax, a few other cameras. Runs on iPod Touch, iPad and your iPhone. It's going to be available in all of the great camera shops up and down the country. In fact, you can download the app now on the App Store. There's a free app and there's also a Pro app, which is £6.99. Download them now on the App Store, and when the cables are available in a couple of weeks' time, you can dive on in, and there's a little shopping button in the app that can where you'll find out where to get them.
So what's the difference between the Pro and the free app?
So with the Pro app, you've got fully customizable, configurable functions, and with the free app, it just gives you a little taster. The basic functions are the same, but for example, in timer, you've got a couple of timer choices. You've got 3 time-lapse programs to choose from. Clap to snap is just a very simple on or off, great fun sound trigger. Shake to take is the fun on or off movement trigger in the free app. And when you go to the Pro app, everything becomes fully configurable. So for example, if I just show you, I've got the Pro app running here on an iPad. And so we've got, obviously, like you'd expect from a shutter release cable, you can press the button, you can hold the shutter down, but it's in the functions drawer that things get really fun. As I mentioned, you can set any kind of countdown that you want, but you can also schedule things to happen. You can schedule the camera to go off, or you can schedule the other functions if you stack them up. Bulb and time-lapse, obviously self-explanatory. You can set any shutter interval for any amount of time. And as I mentioned, the sound trigger in the free app, which we just call clap to snap, which just has an on or off switch, in the Pro app, that becomes a really advanced sound trigger mechanism. So you can see the ambient noise, the ambient sound level there. You can change the sound level to whatever you want. We've got a few sliders for delays and other extra functions to fine-tune it. Shake to take becomes an advanced movement sensor, so you can not only have the movement of your device, your iPhone or your iPad setting off the camera or another function, you can set the direction that you want the device to move in before it triggers. So that's really it. The free app, as I said, it's a lot of fun. It's got some great functions, but they're not quite as configurable as they are in the Pro app, which is a £6.99 upgrade. They're on the App Store now, so download them and start having a little bit of fun. So when the cables are available in a couple of weeks' time, you'll be ready to go.
How much is the cable going to cost?
The cable's $59.95. And if you hit up IOShutter.com, we've got a win tab, we've got a launch competition where you can win iPod Touch, and if enough people join, we're giving away iPhones and iPads as well.
That's great, thank you very much.
Brilliant, thanks guys.